Welcome to a reading for Sagittarius, beautiful Sagittarius. You could be coming across challenges here when it comes to friends, colleagues, co-workers, family members. You've put yourself out there, as you always do, very enthusiastically. And maybe the enthusiasm hasn't come back in the same level or at the same expectation as you thought it would. People could be feeling that you are being too forthcoming, too enthusiastic, too passionate. And in your mind, couldn't be farthest from the truth. Having a lot of trouble speaking when it comes to your readings. So what you've said, you feel like you might have overstepped, or people are actually judging you for what you have said. And you're just, in some ways, not tolerating it, but also in some ways you're trying to figure out how to gain wisdom from this experience so it possibly doesn't happen again, or you're misunderstood because you just want to go out there and have some fun and meet new people and show up and be and go on adventures. And at the moment, I think life can feel quite tedious for you. People aren't getting you. But you also, if people don't get you, you haven't got time for them, and you can fire back at these people with quite ferocity, sternness. And so you're looking for somewhere to balance. It's like, well, if people aren't going to accept me for who I am, bugger them. I'm not interested. And that's fair enough. People come from where they are with the stuff they have, and you're learning that. All right, let's get some advice. You're no longer people pleasing. If people won't accept me for who I am, I hear, that's their problem. And yeah, absolutely, that's their problem. Do what you want to do, be what you want to be. And so we all need to do what we want to do and be what we want to be, so the wholeness of everything can be expressed in all of its ways. So you could be seen as quite the maverick, the outsider, the one that does things to the extreme, but at the moment you're just not interested in people's opinions of it. You just want to do it, and you're just going to do it, and you're going to do it your way. And that's fabulous. All right, let's get some more advice for you. You're stepping yourself out of the box, whereas in the past I think you actually tried to fit in, do things to fit in, and now you're like, I'm not just breaking down the door, I'm running for the door. I'm out of here. A holiday, taking off on a great adventure, something you absolutely love. And it could literally be a flight of fantasy at this stage, but I think the longer you sit in this energy, the more you're just going to want to do this and do it. You want to express yourself wholly, exactly as you are. Walk the streets in your fairy outfit, I hear. To be the travelling minstrel. Is it minstrel? I think it's called minstrel. The travelling person that just plays drums on the street and that sort of thing. Back to the hippie era, I suppose, where people had a freedom of movement, or perceived freedom of movement, where they could express themselves exactly as they were. So you're starting to bring this back into your life. I'm just going to do it. I don't care what society or the greater society thinks of what I'm doing here. I'm going to fly my freak flag in all its rainbow of amazingness and enjoy every moment of it. But when we step out of the box and do things differently, people can have opinions on that. And that people's opinions will come flying back at you. So you're having to toughen up yet again, toughen that skin up. But then again, life's always been a set of challenges like this, hasn't it? Where you have gone out there and done you and being the wonderfulness that you are and all your beautiful colours, and people judging you. And so you can sort of fall back into feeling a little bit of inadequacy when that happens. But I think you're coming back out again now. You're getting back up, you're dusting yourself off, you're putting on your beautiful fairy colours or whatever it is, wearing your hippie clothes, whatever it is, and stepping back out of that door outside that box, because, hey, you gave it a go in this box. You keep on falling back into it, I hear. Because life can be perceived as easier when you go within the confines of what's expected of us. But you will always just step out. And see, by stepping out, you're showing the rest of us how to do it. So please don't stop doing that. Do not stop doing that. Keep on doing it. And take flight. Even a little mini holiday too is going to do you the world of good. Absolute world of good. Release limiting beliefs now. I think you're actually surprised that they actually have come up. I can't believe I put myself back in this box. When did that happen? And so you realize you're taking flight again, taking off on that holiday, that weekend holiday, taking off and doing something completely different. I hear in Australia we have sickies. We're a bit naughty like that. They have those times off where we're not exactly 100% sick, but we'll have a day off. I hear you're having a sickie now and again and just doing you. Taking off into the forest. Stripping yourself naked and grounding yourself. See, those sorts of things that are completely seen by the greater society as something completely out of the box. It's a norm for you. Or you want it to be. And so why not do that? And see, you are the great performer, the great one that will show everybody how to step out of this box in style. You guys do it in absolute style. So now's the time to get your mojo back, and that's exactly what you're doing here. And stepping out in style and just doing it your way. You could have a lot of butterflies coming around you and basically you're feeling like you just want to take flight. They're telling you it's time. And see, the way that we were raised, old family energy is waiting to be released from you. The way that we were raised, the way society used to be, to step outside the box in the not too distant past, even right now, but in the not too distant past, was seen as something that you just did not do. Men behaved a certain way in the past, you know, the expectations. Women behaved a certain way. It was all societal expectations on how we were to live our life. But with each year, each millennia, I'm trying to think back to, like, you know, back in the ancient times, we were expected to act a certain way. In the Middle Ages, we were expected to act a certain way. You know, even in the 50s, we were expected to act a certain way. Now, those expectations, yes, they're still there. We're still expected to act a certain way, but there's so much more freedom now. And I hear you saying perceived freedom. Is there really freedom? Well, yes and no. There is still laws, rules and regulations that society expects us to adhere to. But you're stepping yourself out of the box where it's like, oh, you know, women act like this, men act like that. A good person has this kind of job, you know. You're supposed to work these many hours. You're supposed to, by a certain age, all the rest of it, have this behind you and that behind you. You're stepping out of those roles. And maybe you've never really been in them. You've just sort of given the impression that you were in those roles. But see, your ancestors are cheering you on, the ones that didn't get a chance to step outside the box, or if they did, persecuted for it. there's been a lot of persecution in the past of people that did step outside the box. And so in all of us, there's a certain amount of fear, particularly of being the person that steps outside the box and actually separates themselves from society, because society, humans, love to pick on the one that stands out. Sad but true. You also see it in animals as well. The one that separates itself out. One bird, particularly, I'll just give an example of a bird, something, and the other birds start to pick on it. And then when one starts to pick on it, they all do. So you're growing a very thick skin to be able to actually get up, show up, and be you exactly for who you are. Living life in a very different way. Then I hear how your parents, grandparents, people in your country act. And so we all go into the box in some ways to save ourselves, protect ourselves, but for you, it's like a gilded cage. And you can sort of see the ancestors here, sitting here going, this is the way it's done. Men wear suits and women wear dresses. Yeah? No, not necessarily so for you. I think you've stepped outside the cage and you're looking back going, oh my God. Back in the days, people used to sing and dance and then everybody got very staid and very proper. It would have been seen as vulgar to get a drum out and play. But see, it's also societal, where you live, where you come from, the expectations. But see, you're taking, yes, it might be a worn path, but not that well worn. And you might just feel like racing out over the fields and not even walking on this path any longer. This path you could feel like is just a one-way street to, this is the way we do it. We're all looking off in another direction, going, I actually think I might just make my own path now. All right, advice. I know and affirm that my body is a friendly place to live. Yeah, so if you feel like you can't actually physically do that, sometimes you can be prone to escapism. You need to ground your energy in your physical body at the moment. It's really important. I have respect for my body and I treat it well. I affirm positive things about my body and tell it I love it often. And with affirmations, I claim my inner power. No matter what I choose to believe or say, the universe always says yes to me. Therefore, I choose only positive thoughts and words. Buoy yourself up. Be your biggest cheerleader. Tell yourself every day that it doesn't matter how you look on the external or how people perceive you, you are completely amazing. You are part of the whole. You deserve to take up space exactly as you are, in all your amazingness. You are allowed to express yourself fully and freely. It's just other people will say, oh no, don't do that because, we don't stand out. Yeah. All right, let's see if there's any more advice for you. But see, in all this, as the reading started off, you're looking for other people that are doing the same. Where's my tribe? Where are my people? Is there anybody else out there that is like me? Well, no, you're an absolute unique. But we can all come together in our uniqueness. But there could be actually 3 people here. I sort of see this could be a gossip card as well. 3 people sort of gossiping about, certain things. But you can also see that it doesn't matter what color, your skin, or your ability, that we all have equal place at the table. We all have the desire to be celebrated and to enjoy ourselves. So now's the time, no matter how you look, no matter your ability, you have rightful place at the table. You are part of the whole. All right. I didn't notice that before. See, there's somebody in the background here looking back over their shoulder, going, oh, look at those 3, wasting their time, Do you really think is that the way we behave at lunchtime on a Saturday? Well, hell yeah, that's the way we behave. This is the way we behave anyway. How are you going? Yeah. But also, another way of putting it is, you could be walking away from what gossip people have to say about you and just sort of going, well, okay, I'm leaving it behind. I'm moving on. I'm not going to do what everybody else thinks I need to be doing at this time of day. I'm going to go off and do my own thing now because my skin's blue. They don't want me there. I dress differently. I've got robes and a sash and blue skin, the blonde hair. That's okay. Go and find your own. Go and find your own way of life and your own way of doing things. Right. Because you're stepping into a new life now. And hope is in the palm of your hands. So what are you projecting out into the future for yourself here? An expectation of not being able to achieve what you want, an expectation of things not being as bright as you'd hoped, or are you seeing the beauty and energy in everything? Your life's in the palm of your hands. So what are you going to do? You're going to step out and be you? And you will find your soul tribe by doing it. Because when we fully express ourselves exactly as we are, warts and all of us, that's when other people can recognize and see who you truly are. And you could be wanting a handout of a certain situation here, and yeah, it could be forthcoming. Someone else flying their own freak flag. And together you could create wonders. But it's also a matter of balancing your masculine and feminine sides here to get that balance, to be able to step out. To step out of the people pleasing and step out of the box. Because now's the time for you. Great riches and emotional riches and overflowing emotions are yours for the taking. You just need to step outside that box and go get them. So you do you 100. Realize that not everybody's going to get you. That society has its ideas on what you should be, who you should be, how you should act. But it's not until you actually go out and find out exactly who you are and what you want out of life that's when you find your true happiness. Emotions overflowing and your bank account full. That chest. So you're really starting to gain wisdom. Wisdom and the ability to see things from a very different perspective now. Don't worry about what everybody thinks. They're allowed to think it. That's their choice. But it's now your time. Your time to actually go out and do you. And do it with your fairy wings on. And all the colours of the rainbow. I really hope they help, beautiful Sagittarius. I love you all. And bye for now.